This is the web-based creation for the second response paper. First of all, I'm going to be talking about the medicated child to start things off. And I believe that the medicated child was really weird, really stupid. And the reason I say this is, I believe that all the people in the class definitely think this way. And the fact that those psychologists could say that stuff about the kids and children or students was really mind-boggling, and it made me sick to my stomach. And I constantly shook my head whenever I heard the parents say things, and how, like, whenever the psychologist would say something. It was I I'm not one to judge, but I feel it was all about money and the popularity of the drug and everything. But the fact that they can say that about children and for that aim is really weird. And it was really heartbreaking for me because all these parents are like constantly thinking, oh, is my child, like, does he have a disability because he's not getting along with other students in the class. That's really stupid. But I think I was diagnosed with ADD when I was a younger boy. I know it's called ADHD now, but I was hyperactive, and my parents were really worried because I couldn't partake in the discussions in school, and it was a hard time, but I came through it just fine without those medications. And I'm really glad that my parents didn't make me take those medications and have those side effects, like the young boy or the adolescent that, I believe it was bipolar disorder, but he constantly rolled his neck, and that would be really hard to deal with if I was a young kid. And that was really, really stupid. The second thing I'm going to be talking about is as for autism. And that video was short, sweet, and it was really concise. And it was, but the one thing that I had a problem with was the teacher was constantly, guiding his hand, the student's hands, to, to use the iPad, but what he was thinking, not what the student was thinking. And I don't know if that's the way to learn, but I'm not the teacher. Obviously he knows best the tendencies of the kid, of the student. But I will give credit to where it's due. The iPad is a great idea for students with autism, and I believe that we learned about autism from class and from the group presentations, and it was like right before I watched this, so I kind of knew what autism was and how it affected kids and what they needed to do and to not freak out. And I believe that the iPad is the best thing because it allows them to communicate, and it allows them to hold something and to latch onto something and obsess about that thing. And and most of all, it's the affection of an inanimate object. So that's why it's a perfect example of what should be given to students with autism. Now, for fostering relationships, how students with IEPs can foster relationships by communicating. I said this back in the second response paper, but I believe that um, grouping these children or students into with students that excel in class, it not only helps them educationally, but it helps them to be feel I mean to feel like they're part of something. And but instructional grouping, it reminded me of our group presentations. And I mean, I said this before in my response paper, but I feel that when one of the activities where the students had to individually work and on those green and red index cards and write down what they feared onto the red index card, what they feared about education onto the red index card, and what they enjoyed about teaching onto the what they look forward to teaching, and on the green index card. And I really feel that that strategy helped like immensely, and because it was about feelings, and I feel that that's something that you know how you feel, and that's not as pressuring as solving a question like one-on-one, like for do now. Like for do now, you just say, work by yourselves and try to solve this question, and it feels like you're being tested. But when the class got together in groups and did the how-to portion of the research-based instructional strategies, all of my group didn't know how to tie a tie, but thankfully I knew how to tie one, and we were able to write down what we needed in order to tie a tie. And if this was done individually, that would be a disaster, because there are a lot of people that don't know how to tie a tie, and all of them will be staring up into space. And I feel like these strategies and these kind of instructional grouping and fostering social relationships, and even these videos, really helped me a lot in trying to accelerate my future of teaching. And I really appreciate all that was given to me.